It is a bit strange. It's not strange to us. It's become very normal. It's as mundane as a garden shed to us. Hi, my name's Dean, and as you can see, I've got an aircraft cockpit in my back garden. Well, it was 2017. A friend of mine had a similar cockpit, and I went to see him in a show, and I said, "Oh, I'd love one of these." He said, "Well, there is one for sale in the north of England in a museum that wasn't doing very much with it." So I went up, I offered them £5,000, and they said yes. Since then, it's been towed all the way from the north to here. It's had a trailer bespoke made. I've had to learn how to weld, how to do all the electrics, and it's spent its life going around Britain, collecting money for charity, going to schools, and it's part of the family. We both spend an equal amount of time, working on it and fundraising for it, and it's a good fun toy to have at the back for when you're having barbecues. You've got people around. It is a bit strange. It's not strange to us. It's become very normal. It's as mundane as a garden shed to us, but I do understand that it's a strange thing to have in your back garden. We essentially bought a shell. It had some windows, it had a few dials, but nothing was in place. It was all just thrown inside, the door was shut, and we didn't really know what we had till we got it home. We've put in every original dial from scratch. It did have the seats in there, so we were lucky because they're very expensive. And since then, we've gone full electric. There's a 12-volt system inside which runs all the lights, the radios. We've got some nice atmospheric sounds, so it does actually feel like you are on an aircraft. It's been all over the world several hundred times, and now it's in my garden. Its history is good for the type of airframe it is. But we are just custodians, and no doubt it'll be passed on to somebody else in due course. Yeah, I started collecting World War II items very, very early on. I was 10 years old, sort of collecting rifle shells from the local World War II rifle range, and it just grew from there. I was fascinated by the history, and I wanted to touch it and feel it and smell it, and so I'd buy helmets or anything I could get my hands on in car boot sales, and the collection has taken 40 years to put together. Day to day, I've got a standard job I go to Monday to Friday, and then on the weekends, when we're not away or holidaying, Winnie gets uncovered, and I potter around and fix the light bulbs, and every time I put it away perfectly. Every time I open it up, about 5 things don't work. So it's an ongoing thing. We've taken something that's not meant to do this, and we've asked it to do something strange. And yeah, it fits into our life rather well. It doesn't take up a hell of a lot of room, even though it looks as if it does. It's a bit like having an extension on the house. And I can often be found with a beer in my hand, sitting in the co-pilot's seat, messing about with the radios. And people have got very used to it being there now, so it is part of the landscape. But yeah, when we first got it, it did turn some heads, certainly. We go along just for the joy of showing off the aircraft. Myself and my partner have been working together on this since day one. She's better at the cleaning side of things than I am, and I'm usually underneath it trying to wire wires together to make the lights work. And yeah, it has been a labour of love, and it's brought us very close together actually, because we've got something that we both enjoy doing, and she's very good at doing the spiel when it comes to the show days. What we've actually done with it is try to recreate the sound and the feel of being in an actual aeroplane. So we've got atmospherics, the lights all light up, the switches can be moved, the yokes can be moved, and the idea is that children, and more often than not adults, like to come in, and it's a real aircraft, and they can put their hands on it, unlike in museums. It now looks as it did in 1956. It smells correct. It encompasses that era perfectly. Had a really good sort of 30-40 year career, and now it's going to have a 30-40 year career of teaching children about aeronautics. and opening up things like engineering for girls. I think the minute that you think of this as an investment or money, it loses some of its magic. For me and Rhiannon, it's definitely something that we wanted to give back to the community and for the community to enjoy it.